episode 38 of the Fit Pro podcast. How do you develop and keep a good work-life balance? Welcome back to the Fit Pro podcast, listeners. I am your host, Marvin Fayez, and today's episode is a nice quick episode for you. But before we get into it, make sure you have gone back to episode 36 and listened to the first part of our interview with Kelly Yu Fit. It is amazing, and she talks about self-love. It is so very important to love yourself as well as know what's right, know what's wrong in the fitness industry. She is an outstanding example of a person that is completely comfortable with themselves as well as working through issues that everybody else is as well. Now, that being said, today's episode we're going to be talking about my issues, and I've got a few. I do have a few issues. Those that know me best know that I am a workaholic. I definitely feel on a day-to-day basis when I don't do something productive. And I was actually talking about this, and I wanted to make a discussion about this because I think everybody has a different way of coping with things, and I'd like to hear your side of the story. This will be a weekly question for Twitter, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe on Twitter at FitPro Podcast, and you can then respond to this question. The question is, how do you keep a good work-life balance, and how do you develop one? That is the question. How do you develop and keep a good work-life balance? That has always been something I struggle with. That I am a complete workaholic. I almost have anxiety attacks if I'm not being productive, or if I feel like too much time is going to things that aren't productive to moving my businesses forward. Especially this podcast. I always feel like I need to be creating content. I need to be promoting content. I need to be approaching influencers and getting people on the show. And for example, I'll be having the best weekend ever, and not anything work related, not anything podcast related, and all of a sudden I'll just have a sinking feeling like I haven't done enough. There's somebody out there right now working harder than me, and I need to get back on the grind and put in the work right now, because every second I'm not working is a second somebody else is working harder than me. And I'm very competitive, and I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast are competitive. A lot of fitness professionals and entrepreneurs are highly competitive, and that's what makes us successes. But there's got to be a breaking point. There's got to be a point where you go, okay, I need to slow down and spend time with the people that I love, as well as do some other activities outside of this. Because I'll tell you one thing for sure, besides going to the gym, being healthy, staying fit, trying to eat correctly, there's not much anything else physically that I do besides a few other cardio activities. But there's not anything like, I don't play a team sport anymore. I don't go out and go to the pubs. I've never have, so that's not even a big deal. But I don't socialize as much. And I'd like to get back to that, where I can sort of disconnect my work life and my personal life so that I can then obviously embrace both. And I'm struggling with that. And guys, I think you can hear it in my voice that it is actually a big issue that I struggle with. So I'm really reaching out to all the listeners of the Fit Pro podcast today. If you have a method, or you know how to develop a good work-life balance, let me know via Twitter. Tweet me, let me know this is what I do, or just tweet me or Skype. We might have a chat. We can talk about it, because I'm always open. I'm always willing to learn from people that have achieved the things that I would like to achieve. One, being a super successful podcast host, as well as obviously the Fit Pro podcast doing big things. But two, being able to take advantage of that and the successes that come with that, and basically enjoy it with the people that I love. That is all for today. This is, like I said, we're going to do a lot of shorter episodes in between the interviews. The next episode 39, will be part 2 of Kelly Yu's interview. But don't forget, once you're done, once you're at the gym, if you're at the gym right now, just tweet me straight up
at FitPro Podcast. How do you find a good work-life balance? I always find time for things that matter, but I always feel like I get anxiety attacks or anxiety when things that I know I should be doing, I don't get around to. I don't do straight away. Right? At FitPro Podcast, how do you develop and maintain a good work-life balance? If you know the answer to that question, let me know. This has been the FitPro Podcast, and I'll catch you on the next one.